Hi, and welcome to Loving the Planets with our special edition on the new moon in Aquarius, and that happens on February 4th, 2019. I'm Armand Diaz on Long Island.
And I am Margaret Gray in Dublin.
Margaret, for relationships, what can we say about a new moon right at the middle of Aquarius?
You know, what comes to mind for me are two things, which are kind of, we traditionally link with Aquarius, of course. And I think the first is friendships and the other is groups. And they're both tied together in a way. So I think we're talking about tribal situations in relationships rather than that one-to-one that we connect with intimacy. So we're talking about maybe where, what new starts are happening in our friendship groups. Where do we feel we belong? Who is our tribe? Who can we connect to? Because Aquarius has that really intellectual feeling about it rather than, a touchy-feely kind of close, cuddly kind of friendship feel. So it's more, who do we associate with? Who can we relate to? Who resonates with us? Who is our tribe? They're my kind of initial thoughts. What do you think?
I agree, but we got to remember this is a new moon. So what we'll be thinking about is, where are we going to start? Where are we going to plant seeds? Where do we want to go? Say, for example, over the next year, what groups would you like to be a part of? Where do you want to connect? Where are you going to find people who are on the same page with you? That's kind of what I'm seeing, is this is being a very new moon energy type of thing, that it's really sort of setting intentions for where you'd want to go with those things. Maybe not seeing immediate results.
I think there's also a couple of other themes. One is the theme of freedom that I think really comes, majorly into whenever we talk about Aquarius, and I think particularly with the new moon. So I think it's like, do I feel free enough in my relationships? Do I feel free to be the individual I am? Because I think we're always torn, aren't we, between being ourselves and yet wanting to connect with others and therefore accommodating others and trying to kind of mold our way, into or mold our being so that we are accepted by others. So I think there's a strong feeling of freedom with this new moon and thinking, you know what, this is who I am. So either it works for others or it doesn't. And particularly also the other thing is that, it's right sitting pretty close to Mercury. So it's a lot about communication and creating bridges. So, even if our tribe is the other side of the planet, how do I connect with them? So this could be a lot about even finding our friendship groups online and valuing them, because sometimes we forget that just a few years ago, we didn't have things like Facebook or Instagram or Twitter, and we couldn't at the drop of a hat, connect with friends that were at the other side of the world. Or, the amazing thing is create whole new friendship groups that we wouldn't otherwise be, know at all.
We do have a lot of energy in the sky that is pushing us towards having a little bit of space. Just a couple of days before the new moon, we have Venus trine Uranus, and that's very much a freedom in relationship. Like, hey, boy, I really want to be with you, and I really want to do my own thing. And how can those things not be in conflict with each other? And I think that, in part, just it is, where do I find a group that I feel I belong, where I feel that I value the group, I value what it has to offer. So I think that that's really, really strong at this new moon. Venus is also going into Capricorn right before the new moon, and that I feel that that's it's a little bit just sobering kind of energy, isn't it? It's a little bit of the sense of kind of we can put up some boundaries and we can put up some limits too, in a good way, which can be a very good thing to have some good, healthy boundaries and limits. So yeah, I think that it is a time for looking forward at where we want to go, who we want to connect with, where we want to belong.
I think there's also an interesting dynamic, a kind of a little bit of a pull and push between the energy of commitment, because I think that Venus in Capricorn, has that flavor of commitment to it. And yet we've got the Mars Uranus, it's almost getting close to being a conjunction, which is more of that kind of freedom, breaking the shackles. I don't want to be limited. I don't want anything to tie me down. And yet relationships inherently require some kind of commitment, even if it's a life lightweight commitment. And so I think all of these issues are going to be really going through our minds at the moment of, do I, and also what are relationships about, even love relationships? Where is the friendship element of that? How important is the friendship element? And how much freedom do I have in relationships? What is the commitment? So I think there's actually quite a lot of underlying core issues, because freedom and commitment are so core for us all, that are probably going to come to the surface, and that, as you said, we're planting new seeds for them. Really, anything is possible, I think, with this energy of this new moon. So it's kind of quite exciting in many ways, but of course I say that as a fire sign.
Well, it is an energy that has a lot of, it's exciting with possibilities, because that's what a new moon is. It's a seeding time. There's possibilities there, and you can consider all the different possibilities. As we get away from the new moon, and as we go through the month and we go through the year, then it sort of falls on us to make stuff happen. Then we have to put in the effort to make that happen. Now, you can't want to be a member of a particular group. You can't feel a kinship with a particular tribe, but not do anything about it, because then it's going to pass you by. So we do have that responsibility on us as well.
You're talking about manifesting something, which is also, of course, what the Saturn in Capricorn wants. And, we're building up to the transits of 2020, which, by the way, we'll be doing a separate recording on. So have a look out for that. So if you subscribe to our YouTube channel, you'll get to, hear about all our recordings, including the 2021, which is going to be major. So it is about, that manifesting, that kind of grounding energy. One last thing I also wanted to say, that the 15 degree is very important in the chart of this new moon, because there's quite a lot at 15 degrees. We've got the sun and moon at 15 Aquarius, we've got Saturn at 15 Capricorn, we've also got Neptune at 15 Pisces. So if you've got anything in your chart or in your composite relationship charts with loved ones around that degree, just know that you're really going to be, it's going to kind of waken those parts of your chart for you today.
Very much so. And we'll be back with our full moon recording in a couple of weeks.
Take care, Armand. Bye-bye.